Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. You know, relationship was a hot topic on yesterday. And I got on here to speak the truth, about dating. Things have really changed. And more than one, it was a few guys that reached out to me on yesterday. And Warren was so hilarious. Oh, he was so funny. He was like, I am not going to spend my money on a woman if she don't prove herself. And how she's going to prove herself is meeting my needs. And I said to myself, I said, well, that's probably why you are still single, if you're single, because these days they just have it their way, just doing everything and anything. But I think he may be single. I'm not sure. Oh yes, I'm having a bad hair day, but that's okay. I'm gonna take it down and redo it. But I got on here to say, regardless, if you feel lonely or you feel like, I just need somebody, I want to encourage you just to hold on and pray and ask God to send you someone, that will really make you happy. Because I hear a lot of women, especially my age, and to my surprise, that they are lonely. They feel like they need someone to fill that void, And I just, let me turn my car off. I just got to a point on when it comes to dating. I think I'm gonna be like my mom, you know, because I feel like at 61 years old that I can't tolerate a lot of nonsense, and I'm not going to tolerate a lot of nonsense, and I'm not going to put up with a lot of nonsense just because I feel like that I'm lonely and I need a companion. Well, you know what? Join some clubs, join a senior citizen club, or go to the rec center, or meet someone at the movies. Get a social group going on. If you feel like that you need somebody, uh you know that you want, so you won't be lonely. Sex is not everything. That's the thing that we're missing. Yeah, sex is good when you have the right partner. And I Warren just reached out to me yesterday, excuse me, saying you're just too old fashioned. Because one thing, I believe in marriage. Before sex, we're not having any sex unless we're married. So that's my preference. I believe in true love. A lot of them told me that doesn't even exist anymore. True love just don't exist, and I still believe it does. You just haven't found the right person to really get connected, because I believe true love is still out there. And I'm not going to find it. Who finds it a wife finds it a good thing. So they have to find me, because I am the good thing. So I still believe in old-fashioned morals and traditional ways of doing things, and that's my preference, and I'm fine with that. So, I did, well, one of the subscribers reached out to me on yesterday and say, you know what, Miss Vicky, you are totally right. She said, I've been married for 28 years and I was married for 28 years, and things just didn't work out, for me. But, she's still in her marriage. Congratulations. But you know, it was things like that. And she say, I totally agree with you. She say, it's crazy out here. And if I have to start over like you and do it all over again, she say, I'll probably be just like you, don't want to do, I'll probably be single until I die. And I said, you know what? I don't want to be single until I die, but I don't want to put up with the nonsense. Point blank, period. I don't want to put up with nonsense, and I'm not going to put up with nonsense. That's my choice. If you meet me in the middle, if we meet in the middle, and another thing, my preference, I don't want to compromise anymore. I compromised for almost 30 years. I had did some things that I felt like, in a marriage, I felt like, it put me in a vulnerable position just to try to compromise and make peace in the marriage and try to save the marriage. I don't want to fight all of my life. I'm like what is that, Color Purple. So I don't want to do all that, the things that I used to do when I was younger. I don't want to do that. I mean, it's too stressful. It's too much on me now. And I just want to just coast on and live a comfortable life, a life that I want to enjoy, and just coast on out of here, whether I coast with somebody or whether I coast by myself. I'm just going to coast on out of here. And this is a true story. I'm gonna tell you about a friend of mine. She passed away, but she lived her very best life. She lived her very best life. I tell you, she went on exotic vacations. She did everything that she wanted to do, and she used to remind me and tell me, she say, Vicky, you only live one life, baby. You better try to live your best life, because she lived her best life, and she got sick, with cancer, and she passed away. But I tell you, she lived her best life. She didn't have no children. She never was married, but I tell you, she lived her best life. She lived her best life. And the most important thing that she did in her life, and she knew that she was sick, she dedicated her life and gave her life to Christ before she passed away. When she was sick and down, she began to seek the Lord. And she gave her life to Christ. I'm like, golly, this girl did everything. I mean, lived the best life, went on exotic vacations and trips and cruises, and then at the end, she like, let me get this right. Let me get this right before I check on out of here. And often I think about her and the lifestyle that she lived. She was a good person. Never did talk about nobody. She had tons and tons of friends. Never did talk about nobody. And I never saw her, get into it with someone. She would just tell them like it is, and she would just leave it alone and laugh about it. She had a good heart and a good spirit. But, she lived her best life. So that's what I want to do at this age. I want to live my very best life. No chaos, no stress, nothing like that. I just want to cruise on out of here and have a perfect relationship with God. With God. So, the dating, I have not given up on dating. But, I'm just sitting here counting my blessings, and I know that there will be, other opportunities that will come my way, and I'm going to be ready. But I want to give this last advice before I get off of here. Ladies, women, of God, ladies, women of God, young ladies, young girls, just females in general. Don't be in a hurry. Pray about some things. Think about some things. Strategize and know what you want. When a guy approach you, know what you want and stick to your boundaries. It's so important to set boundaries and don't deviate. I can't say that word this morning, but don't try to compromise and don't try to switch it up, but stick to your boundaries. Stick to them. Because if you in love, but you still have boundaries. Don't forget about your boundaries. And that's one thing that I did when I was in a relationship and married for so long. I forgot about me. I forgot about the boundaries that I set. I forgot about the goals that I set. And I just pushed everything aside just to please somebody else. And it doesn't work that way. It works both ways. It works both ways. So I forgot about me. I forgot about the goals and the things that I wanted to do. So don't get lost in a relationship. Don't get lost. Don't lose yourself. And so once it was over, then I thought about my goals. I thought about the things that I wanted to do, and I began to work toward that. And I could have did that 30 years ago. I could have did that 15 years ago. I had to wake up and realize that I lost myself in the midst of it. Don't do like I did. Set those boundaries, set those goals, and stick to your plan. Stick to your plan. And if he loves you, he will honor your plans. He will honor your boundaries. If he truly loves you, he wouldn't have a problem with that. Don't get lost in the shuffle like I did. So that's my advice this morning. Y'all have a happy Friday. This is my happy Friday shirt and glasses. Every Friday when I come on, y'all know it is Friday and I am happy. I'm happy all the time, but most of all, I'm joyful. Be joyful in the Lord. All right? So I'd rather choose joyful over happy. So y'all be blessed, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.